you spoke to my language in terms of like relevant implementation. Phones getting answered in 10 seconds or less. The AI's kids are not getting sick, right? They're not having car trouble on their way to work.
Welcome back. So this is Sherrod Hunter. Sherrod runs Junk Shot, which is one of the fastest growing junk franchises in the States right now. This guy's amazing. So Sherrod, I just want to ask you, you've been a client of ours for a while. Who are you? What do you do? What is the business that you guys?
I am the co-founder and brand president of Accelerated Waste Solutions. We are a niche waste and recycling firm. We have two lines of business: Junk Shot, junk removal, which is a tech-based, B2B junk removal operation, and Valet Trash. Doorstep Details is the brand name, and we're a national valet trash provider. Taking trash from a resident's doorstep, we on-site compact.
Let's go. And where did you find us? Like, how did you even hear about Colvera?
I was referred to you through a franchise network called Franser, and I think you might have recently got onboarded as a vendor. Saw one of your emails, and you weren't just talking AI; you were talking business systems and how that helps operations, and it just seemed like a little more in depth than any of the AI had seen. I've been kind of dabbled in AI for the last year and a half for several reasons, and it just seemed like you spoke to my language in terms of like relevant implementation, right, into a business system. And so glad I reached out, and it's been smooth ever since, man.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time. Like, I hear AI more than anything, I mean, especially me, I'm in the industry, but I hear it all the time. And it's like, there's so many tools. And like you were talking about too, like so many people think they have AI and it's not even implemented. It's not a system. It's not true integration with their business too. And that's what we see all the time. It's like people hear it all the time, but they don't actually have it working inside the business. With that in mind, like, walk me a little bit through your guys' number. And I know originally when we first spoke, from memory, you guys were in like the 25-30% range. What did your numbers look like since implementing Colbert as well?
Since adopting, we've been upwards of 70%. We've had months where we're close to 80% called conversion ratio. So it's been a game changer. Absolutely.
And then like how much of it, like obviously for you guys, there's not only just conversion increase, there's other stuff that buys back time. I mean, and I know you're spending a heaps on internal call center team. There's obviously headaches that come with that too, operational management, hiring, firing, that type of stuff too. Is there any other, I guess, benefits more than just the conversion rate that you guys saw in your own business?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is screening and classifying calls, right? Understanding what's a qualified call versus an unqualified call. Take it a step further, abandoning calls were a thing,
Yeah.
right? Where people would call and hang up before we could answer the phone. And we didn't know if that call was a real lead, right? Or if it was a robocall. And so we would try to call that call back in case, and it's just, kind of had us spinning our wheels. And the AI solves that problem. I would say first and foremost is speed the lead. You would call and it would be the welcome to Junk Shot and have the cool, music in the background and so on and so forth. But by the time it got through several systems, it may be 45 to 60 seconds at its quickest, right? That we could answer the phone. And honestly, it's just like every other junk mobile company, right? It takes everything and it takes that prompt. But at the end of the day, how much business are we losing, right? On someone who just wants to speak to someone right away or get their job done right away. And so that was a piece of the puzzle where like now, like phones getting answered in 10 seconds or less, like a couple of rings and it's right to it, right? So that's number one. But understanding those abandoned calls, I kind of like call it man against the machine, right? Because we found out now with your system that the majority are robocalls anyway, right? And then we would call them back and it'd be like, doo, doo, doo. So it's just like, oh man, you wasted time losing people back. You think you might lose a lead, and it wasn't even that. So that was one piece. Another piece was just the unqualified calls, like people confusing us with the regular trash people, right? Can't do anything with that, right? But it takes the humans to answer that call, fail that call, evaluate that call, just to find out we can't help you anyway, right? And so many people calling to sell us stuff, selling us car parts and jump parts because they don't understand exactly what we do. And the AI took care of that because it's like, okay, you know what? You don't buy parts. However, need some junk removed, be glad to help you. So it does it, in a professional way and still sells and doesn't leave any opportunity, not qualified or not followed up on. But it definitely takes the human element out of it, right? And then you hit it on the head in terms of just the reliability and the consistency, right? The AI's kids are not getting sick, right? They're not having car trouble on the way to work, right? It's showing up, ready to go, no attitude, right? The morning, argument that they had with their significant other does not affect the performance because it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And so, there.
That's great to hear. And then for you guys, like you already had an internal call center team. A lot of the time you hear from, especially franchises, that they have outsourced call center teams. And so they're used to dealing with issues on that, but you guys manage your own one. And so before working with us, like what type of issues did you guys run into on a regular basis? Made you even open to look at solutions like this?
Yeah, just I've sometimes like asking my refs to call back every abandoned call and being able to have no stone unturned was almost impossible because the volume is just wasn't there. You know what I mean? There was so many abandoned calls versus qualified, and it was hard to really tell. So it was just a lack of efficiency, right? And really not even being able to manage them properly because I didn't have the right expectations, the right reporting, and the right data. So we're just spinning our wheels, right? Where now we keep the main thing the main thing, and I feel like we're able to be proactive versus reactive in our approach, which is a game changer for us.
100%. The biggest thing that I notice across the board is that even if it's like 80% there, you can never really turn and look at the proper main thing that actually grows your business, which is doing your service to the best as possible while you're thinking, oh, there's going to be this issue here and that. Obviously, like we talked about, everyone's kind of heard of the AI this, AI that, and like I think a lot of people struggle to actually finding AI that really actually drives measurable outcomes and benefits to the company too, not just on revenue, but on profit too, and actually improves operational efficiency. And I guess for you guys are very open to it. I know you guys are very forward facing in terms of tech. What were you most skeptical even before working with us or hopping on call with us too?
And not everybody likes AI, right? Just to deal with it, right? And so wanting to make sure that our brand is represented well, to the point where it's not a robot, but also it can pick up the sentiment in terms of the value that we're trying to portray. And again, some people turn totally close an eye as soon as they hear it, right? And some people couldn't even recognize it, to be honest with you. They didn't even know it was AI. But the fact of the matter is, it had that care. And I think one of the things that you did is you listened to a ton of recorded calls that we did, right? And you made sure that the AI kind of picked up on our sentiment, which is important because we never want to lose that concern and that care in terms of how we want to relate to a customer. And so some get it, right? And the ones that don't get it and they want to speak to a human, we're there for them as well, right? We'll give them a different journey. But it's important that we can free ourselves up, right? From having to do the mundane. That's where the AI comes in. And the people that need the hand holding, we're there for it without being inundated, right? Or distracted by things that aren't moving the needle.
Yeah, or removing a lot of the noise for sure. I guess for anyone watching this, what would you say to someone thinking of working with us who's kind of watching this right now and being like, okay, cool, like this is something I'd look into?
Yeah, man, you guys have been great from day one. Held our hand through the entire process. We've already kind of dibbled and dabbled in AI. We could instantly see the clear difference of how you guys operated. Took the time to listen first, and you tailored it right to our needs, right? Which was big time. We had a lot of different, whether it was custom or whatnot, there was things that were important to us, and you made that important to you. And to me, that was the game changer. That's how I knew I had a real partner, something that's not a fly by night, right? Try it and see what happens, like something that we can scale with. And that's what I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, to learn, and to react, right? There were follow-ups, and you guys didn't keep us in the dark in terms of any of the developments that we asked for. And we're able to get to a place where we're like, this is the product that we can sign off on, right? Before we that's an important thing.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. There's always going to be issues with any type of system that you integrate, whether it's AI or not, there's always going to be issues. The key thing is like, can you avoid the issues? No. How quickly can you resolve them? And how quickly they can be resolved? Are you willing to even, build that around the client too? And for you guys, I know for every customer, really, it's important that we can customize it around their use case. And for you guys, it might have been embodying that customer care or tonality or speed or recognize an existing customer. And we're happy to do that because I think that drives better outcomes for you. And that's just going to lead for you telling more people about us too. It's awesome. Appreciate you. And last question, where can people find out more about Accelerated Waste, JunkShot, about you guys yourselves?
Sure. You can find us on LinkedIn, myself, Sherrod Hunter, my business partner, co-founder, Fred Tomlin, is our CEO. Hit us on LinkedIn. We'd be glad to connect. You can also visit us on acceleratedwastefranchise.com. Tells you about our franchise opportunity, how we combine two great businesses into one franchise, and how successful our franchise are in a very short period of time. You can also check us at acceleratedwaste.com and junkshot.app.com. Download the JunkShot app. Not only do we have AI facial recognition into our JunkShot app, we also have a loyalty rewards program in our JunkShot app that we're proud of. So turning trash into cash.
And small other thing too, I know Sharon said a lot about how great it is working with us, but I can't say how great it was working with them too. Probably one of the most professional, quick responding on top of it franchises. Always great with feedback, and genuinely there's a lot of operational stuff that we take away from you guys too. So great partner.
Man,